Hello, everybody, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to become the goddesses they are meant to be. I am Julietta, the magical PT, coming to you from Fort Lauderdale, where I help a lot of women and some men too get their body balanced and in harmony so it can support them in doing everything they want to do. I'm also a jewelry creator, an artist, an author, a podcaster, a whole bunch of other stuff too, but that's enough for right now. And Allison, introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, everybody. My name is Allison Mancini, and I'm a holistic nutritionist. I'm also a mom of two adult, amazing young adults, a wife to a pretty amazing guy for 28 years. I also live in South Florida, but I'm currently joining you all from Texas, visiting my daughter at school right now. And I am oh my gosh, I just lost my words. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I am also a human resources director for the Gold Digger Girl. I am also a podcaster, co-host with my partner in crime. And actually, I didn't even tell you this. I'm actually getting another certification starting next week. It's the first time Juliette is hearing this too.
Wow. So, breaking news.
So I'm getting a certification as a functional nutritionist because Julietta, you know, my background is really functional medicine, and that's where my passion really lays. And I have been doing some research and finally found a program. So it's going to be about 10 months, but I'm super excited because it's going to be like really good. So a lot more to offer my clients. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But I'm not happy that you were holding out on me, keeping secrets from me.
I didn't mean to be holding out on you. I truly didn't. And listen, you know before my husband knows. So if he's listening to this, he's going to be like, what?
Love it. Awesome.
Again, like I said in my previous podcast, he'd be like, okay, whatever you need to do. So anyways, I wasn't holding out on you. I just have been so busy. I got registered and then it's on the back burner because classes start on Monday. So, you know.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Just one more thing to add to my plate.
Absolutely. Well, I know another thing you are is you're a meditator.
I'm a huge meditator.
I'm a meditator too.
And floater.
You're a meditator, you're a floater. But a lot of the goddesses that have joined us, a lot of our listeners have all really incorporated meditation into their life. Mm-hmm. And so, and we talked about this on one of our other shows where people take something that they're passionate about it and then they create business about it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of did that.
I know you did.
So, and I'm sharing this one. This one is really special because I was finishing it on time to take with me to Egypt because it's got an Egyptian scarab on it, but it's my Egyptian scarab lapis and howlite mala. And so Allison was telling me she didn't really know what malas were for. And so there's exactly 108 beads on malas. Although there are you can do mini malas too that have half the number of beads or a quarter of the number of beads. Okay. But 108 is a very sacred, divine number. So that's why there's 108, and you can research if you want and go into it. But the point of it is you have your mantra or your affirmation. And so instead of you should say it 108 times for it to be
wow.
Yes. So that's what the beads are for. You say your affirmation and you move from one bead to the next bead. Oh, look at my beautiful burn on my hand. But the beads allow you to count how many times
so you start at one side
your
and go to the
mantra or
other.
Your affirmation. So you go all the way around, and when you get to the end, you know you've said your mantra 108 times.
Nice.
So
see, learn.
But I've been making these mantras. I've been selling out these mantras. But
malas.
Not only do we have the mala I said mantra. I've been making the mantras, malas, but and not only is there the gift of the mala to do your meditation, but the beads, all the different beads have different energies, frequencies to support you. So I make custom ones. So if anybody needs a mala out there, let me know. I would love to
that's
make
really interesting because I had no idea that that's what they were. Like I saw your
I
post
know
of your
people look
mala
and they
beads.
think they're pretty
Like, that's really
jewelry
pretty.
because I wear them all. But like here, I've got my rose quartz, my love mala here.
Yeah, that one I like. But then
And
sometimes you have different pendants on them.
right, like
Okay.
like I had the scarab on that one. I have
Mm-hmm.
this really pretty tassel on this one.
But I've seen ones with like Buddha-y looking.
Yeah, I put Buddhas on them, all different things. Like when I'm over in Egypt, one of the things I want to do is find more things that I can hang on malas. So whether they're little goddess pendants or more scarabs or ankhs or whatever. So I'll have all kinds of Egyptian malas available after my trip.
I have a question because this is how my mind works. So 108 mantras. How long have you ever done it? Like, what's my time factor here?
Well, it depends on how long your mantra is. Like for some people, the mantra is Om.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Om, that's maybe a couple seconds. So 108 times 2 is 216 seconds divided by 60. That's a little over 3-4 minutes. Like,
okay.
But if your mantra is I'm an amazing bodacious freaking awesome goddess, like it'll take you a little longer.
Now, where does this come from? What culture?
I mean, they use them
in
in many cultures, but it's primarily like from Buddhism. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. A little bit of a feel like a little bit of
nugget,
history, education, religious education-ish, spiritual education.
I would say spiritual.
We'll do spiritual. Yeah.
But we need to bring our guest on.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. All right.
Are you doing that?
Yep. Got her.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello. Look at her looking like I feel like
Thank you.
I know.
I gotta up my game like next to this because she's like looking so goddessy over there.
Thank you.
Welcome to our show, Alexandra. Will you please introduce yourself to our audience? Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yes, I am Alexandra Matthews, a vivacious entrepreneur. I work in the real estate space. I'm also a dog mom. I'm a skilled master of the erotic mind and the taboo, things that sometimes we talk about, but sometimes we don't. And I also am the founder of Hieros Reis, where we have spellbound curios, crystals, and candles.
So she's just like us with the many little.
She's got the slash.
Yes. Yep. Awesome. I love
Every
it.
goddess needs multiple slashes. We need multiple.
Renaissance women, right?
Yes, exactly. So we are super excited to have you here today. I'm really excited because I just, we used to see each other a lot, and now it's been far too long since we've seen each other. So I'm happy to see you here virtually, and we get to see each other face to face sometime soon.
We do.
After Egypt, though, so I can tell you all about it. So we're going to dive into the questions.
Okay.
I need to know your answers.
I'm so excited.
What is your superpower?
So my superpower, it's a little bit of a combination superpower I've found. And the way that I really have discovered it and recognized it is it kind of literally bit me in the tongue. So I'm fortunate enough to see energy move. Everybody in science class, they're like, atoms are everything. They're everywhere. They vibrate. They're at a certain frequency. So I can look at a door and see it moving. And I've noticed that my superpower is being able to move that energy and manipulate it. And my superpower is my words. That is my favorite way to do it. I remember one day I was just talking to somebody, having a conversation, and I literally shocked myself in the mouth. And I was like, what is happening? What did I just do? And why does this keep occurring? So that is my superpower. And I'm so fortunate and blessed to have it.
That's a very unique superpower. Like
It's a unique superpower.
nobody else has come on with that superpower yet. So.
I don't think so. I think it's very unique to me. I've always been somebody that's spoken my mind, even if it isn't necessarily what people want to hear. And Juliet is very aware of that. I like to shake things up whenever possible.
She says the things that everybody else wants to say.
Yeah.
There's great value in that, because those are some of my favorite people to be around, because I don't have to guess. There's no wondering, there's no guessing. I'm not walking on eggshells. I know exactly what I'm dealing with.
No, and I feel like, I have a pretty good limit. It's not like I just come right out with it. Mm-hmm. It takes some time. So if I'm at the point where I feel it needs to be said, then it's probably been waiting too long to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a longtime friend like that from Michigan, where I grew up. And still to this day, we're both 50, and she's still like, it's one of the things I love about her. I know that I'm going to hear exactly what needs to be said. Yeah. So it's all good.
The world would be so much easier if everyone just said what needed to be said.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it too is delivery, I think, which
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it definitely has to be said in the right way. I don't know if there's a right way, but like, I guess delivery is the best way to put it.
Yeah. I've coined the term for myself, spiritual boxer, because I feel like the words, they come in and they come out, and I'm in and out, I jab and I'm done. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying anything else about it, and it kind of lands. So
I like that. That's
spiritual boxer.
Spiritual boxing. Right. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Question number 2. What is your favorite book, or a book that has greatly influenced your life?
So this is a new book for me. It just came into my sphere probably, about a month ago. And I remember I'm an audiobook girl, so I was listening to it and I started crying. It's not often that I cry, but the book is The Way of Mastery by the Shanti Christos Foundation. And it's this beautiful book, beautifully written, about essentially Jesus being a brother and with us, not above us. So it is a little bit Christ-centered, and I believe it's very similar to A Course in Miracles. Mm-hmm. But the particular book within that book is The Way of the Heart. And it is just incredible. I recommend it to everyone. It's really about coming into yourself, listening to, your own thoughts and beliefs, your experiences, how they shape you. And, at the end of the day, it really is all love. Such a good book.
We'll have to check it out, because that's not a book I have.
Not a book you've read yet.
Which, yes, there are plenty of books I haven't read. Sometimes it's like, of course I've read that book. Of course I've read that book. But because I've been reading spiritual books for
I'm surprised that this one has not crossed your path
yet. But there are so many spiritual books out there. Like it's amazing how many books are out there. So yes, if I could have 2 bodies reading books at the same time and absorbing them, then I'd get through everything that I want to read. But
I just need to live a really, really long time to get through them all.
Read all the books. But the problem is people are going to keep writing books. There's always going to be more books to read.
I know.
I'm hoping one day I'll have my own book. We'll see when that happens.
Of course you're going to have your own book.
Of course I'm going to have my own book.
I'm like,
absolutely.
And it's going to be best-selling, and I need an autographed copy. And
yes.
To it.
Kind of like your book.
That's right.
Yes. Both of you came to and
did I meet Alex?
So you guys probably did meet
we
there.
Probably
but
met.
You don't remember meeting because so much was going on.
Yeah, there was a lot that day.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we digress. Back to the show. Question number 3 is, what is your favorite self-love practice?
Oh man. Okay. So this is going to be a weird one, but it is by far my self-love practice. It's listening. I know that's going to sound strange, but I feel like every time I need something, it changes. And I've really had to tune in lately to what is it that I need or my spirit needs that maybe my mind is like, no, we should go do something else. Because sometimes it's the gym. Most recently, I just go to the beach and sit. I like being close to the water, and something about salty air is amazing for me. So that's normally the one that comes up, but it's really just listening, to my body, to my thoughts, to my spirit, and figuring out, what it is that I need in that moment, because it does change, moment to moment. I certainly am not the girl where I can go sit in a bubble bath and everything is fixed.
And I love that what you're saying, like listening to because our bodies will speak to us. Our intuition knows what we need. And oftentimes, because someone else was like, they were like talking about what they like to do, and it was like not what other people were saying. They're like, I know I should do this and I should do that. And I'm like, everybody just throw away the shoulds. There are no shoulds. And you don't do what other people say is the right thing to do. You do what resonates with you and honor your system, because your system is different than everybody else's. So I love that. Everybody needs to listen to their self. And it's even, that's how I practice physical therapy. Like most physical therapists are practicing in like, I do this assessment, and based on all my years of education and understanding of anatomy and that's what's going to make me figure out what I'm going to do. No, I just go straight to the source. I have a conversation with your body, and your body tells me what it needs to support it in its healing journey. And I'm not going to heal you. Your body's going to heal you. But the only way we can do that is if we listen to your body. And so that's a beautiful message for everybody out there. Listen to your body and do what it needs, not what you think you should do or what people tell you should do.
Or what other people are telling you should do. I've found that, sometimes I'll reach out.
That's like the worst.
I'm feeling this kind of way. And they're like, well, why don't you do this? And I'm like, why did I just do that? That's not what I wanted to do. It didn't feel right. And it's just not worth the time and the investment. And you could be doing something that's worth the time.
Perfect. All right. Our fourth and final question is, because all of us that have like these multiple, I'm a this, I'm a that, /this/that/this.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff to get done. And the only way to get it done is through accountability. So how do you create accountability in your world?
So keyword is try to hold myself personally accountable, but as you know, sometimes life gets in the way, procrastination shows up. So I really am a fan. I have specific journals, like books for each of my businesses, and I try to pick one day out of the week where I either lay out, if it's the beginning of the month, the whole month, an overview, and then I'll go in once a week and schedule the week. So I try to keep to deadlines. Deadlines do me very well. Writing it down is also very helpful for me. I much prefer to write it down than to have it electronically or digitally. But it's really about holding myself accountable, being my word, and getting the job done. Because if it doesn't get done, it piles up, and then there's too much to do, and then I don't want to do it, and all the momentum is lost.
Yeah. And I love it because we've talked about this a lot. Like there's a lot of us that prefer to actually physically write stuff down as opposed to typing it. And while you were saying it, like I actually like had this thought that it's like when we're writing the magical spell that's going to make it happen when you write it down.
Right.
And that's
actually
something.
I was listening to something recently. I can't remember, who knows if I read it, heard it in a podcast, Audible, I don't know. It was somewhere, read it in a blog, I don't know. But they were talking about how actually your brain actually does retain better when you physically write it.
Right.
And so that was one thing that I learned very young, probably in college. Because, in college you sit through these lectures that are like, they're like brutal, really long. And I learned very quickly that if I sat and I actually wrote and took like thorough notes. Like while the professor was speaking, I retained so much more. And so going fast forward, I love that you bring up the journals and having a different one for your business, because that's exactly what I do. Like I have.
Yeah. The other thing too I've noticed is that like having an actual like physical journal, like I have physical products here, they're in front of me. I'm constantly reminded that like, okay, this needs to be get done. This is on the list. And this needs to be sold. We need to clean this up for marketing. It's right there. So there's no way to neglect it.
Yeah.
At all.
I'm right there with you. Yep. Agree.
All right, ladies, it is takeaway time. So what is your takeaway, Allison?
Well, I would say it's just kind of more of a reaffirmation. So it's funny that not funny. It's never coincidental, right? Okay. Alexandra brought up, it's my daughter's name, by the way. Great name.
Oh, so great name.
Yeah.
Favorite name.
She goes by Lexi though. That was, yeah. So anyways, I love your comment about the journals and for your business, because way back in the beginning of our podcast, one of our guests gave us the suggestion of, journaling when you're going through your day and your business and just kind of keeping everything like track of it. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And you know what? Because I'm very visual. I'm like, I'll color code. I'll have a different journal for each aspect of my business. And then someone said to me along the way, that'll get too confusing. Then you have to worry about having different journals. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're probably right. And I let it go. And then like just 2 weeks ago, I'm like, what have I been doing? No, like this is my business. Like I'm my boss. I can do whatever I want. And for me, this will work. Like color coding is my world, and journaling and now it's made just in the last 2 weeks, I've been doing it. It's kind of where I keep all the stuff that comes up during the day, and you're like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, wait, I can't forget to do that. I go and I grab the right journal and I write it down real quick, and it's there. And then I can go back to it when I have more time and sit down and go, okay, this is what I need to do. And I work through things in those journals. I do my brain dumping in those journals, the whole thing. So thank you for saying that and reaffirming that it's all good.
So that leads into my takeaway, which is just going back to the should. You tried to do what other people told you should do. And it's like, realize like, no, that's what they should do, because that's what they think is the right way to do. But what you get to do is what works right for you. So that's kind of been my theme for the last few weeks is no more shoulding. I'm done shoulding. You go should. I'm not shoulding anymore. So. Anyway, your face.
It's true. I love when you say that. Stop shitting on yourself.
Anyway,
we need a shirt with that. Don't shit on yourself. Shooting. Don't shit on yourself.
All right. Alexandra, what is your takeaway from today?
My takeaway is, of course, to always be true to yourself. Definitely no shitting. And you might ruffle a few feathers, and that's completely okay. That's completely and totally fine. You have to do, what works for you and what's best for you always, all the time.
And because we all know this, like anybody who casts any judgment on what we do, what we say, it's about them. It has nothing to do with us. What you think of me is your business. It's not my business. So absolutely 1,000%.
Yes. Somebody told me recently that people are almost always acting in their best interest. And when you think of it from that come from, you tend not to get so upset as to what they're doing or why they're doing it. And it's, it's all good.
It even goes back to the 4 agreements. Don't take things personally, right? Because that's exactly, when you take it from that perspective, like, and I've started to do that when people do something maybe that's hurtful or was mean or whatever, or I just didn't agree with, I'm like, okay, but they're acting out of their own self-interest. So I just need to let that go. Hi, Merlin.
Hi.
He's like, I feel like I'm being left out. I need to make my presence known here. He's been holding space for all of our lovely podcasts here today. So now he's just
And the tail.
The tail.
Cracks me.
The tail is like it's like an entity in itself.
Mhm.
Anyway, whew, that was a lot of
It
goodness.
was awesome. A lot of
Good
goodness.
things.
So I want to say thank you so much, Alexandra, for joining us on our show today, and thank you for all the nuggets that you've shared with us. And I want to say thank you to our audience for tuning in. And if you've liked what you've heard, please subscribe so you don't miss out on an episode. Follow us, share us with other goddesses. Like, everybody needs a source of support, and that's what we do here. Like, I love how many times I've heard, wow, that one episode, this one guest said this one thing that changed my life. So you never know, like, what is, it might be the simplest thing, but it might have a life-changing impact on somebody. So please share the show with other people. Also, if you'd like to be a guest like Alexandra, go on our website, fill out the form. Our website is votgpodcast.com. So I have to think every single time. Voices of the Goddess podcast.com. There's a form there you can fill out, and then we'll get in touch and get you scheduled to be on your show, because I know you have something to say that somebody out there needs to hear. And if you need to get in touch with Alexandra or Allison and myself, all of our information is available on the show notes, in the comments, so you can easily get in touch. Oh, and here, there we go. Thanks for celebrating women and our infinite powers. Yes, we do have infinite powers. Love that. So thank you for listening in. And I want to wish everybody out there a magical, magical day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.